पार्षदों, माननीय उपसभापति जी।
नमस्कार जी, नमस्कार जी, नमस्कार जी, नमस्कार जी. Now, let me, let me first do this introduction. I will allow you. I will allow you. Don't start with point of order. As soon as I come. Now, private members, legislative business, bills for introduction. Now, Sri Raj Kumar Doot. Then again Sri Rajkumar Doot, absent. Rajkumar Doot, he gives bills and then absent. Now Sri Bhupender Yadav, absent. Dr. KVP Ramachandra Rao.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, Deputy Chairman, sir, I seek your permission to move the bill and also to introduce the bill. The bill is regarding the Constitution Amendment Bill 2016, amendment of Articles 109, 117, 198 and 207, sir.
So, you...
Sir, I propose to move the bill,
Okay,
sir.
all right.
I seek your permission
Yeah.
for admitting.
You say I beg to move the leave.
Sir, I beg to move the bill, sir.
Yes. Question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Now you introduce the bill. You say I introduce the bill.
Sir,
You say I introduce the bill.
sir, I introduce the bill, sir.
Okay. I have to tutor you. Sri Muhammad Ali Khan.
Thank you, Chairman Sahab.
Yeah.
I beg to move the bill, leave of the introduction of the bill further to amendment Clinical Establishment Registration and Regulation Act 2010.
Okay. The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it.
I introduce the bill.
Yes. Now, Sri Shantaram Nayak, absent. Let me, no, that is correct. After introduction, I will allow you. Now, National Waterway, now Sri Shantaram Nayak again, absent. Sri Shantaram Nayak again, absent. Sri Pradeep Tamta, absent. Sri Pradeep Tamta again, absent. Sri Pradeep Tamta again, absent. Srimati Vandana Chavan, absent. Conspicuous by absence. Dr. Kanwardeep Singh, absent. Sri Hussain Dalwai, absent. All are gone for election campaign. Hussain Dalwai absent. Hussain Dalwai again absent. Sri Sanjay Seth, absent. Okay, Dr. Subbarami Reddy. My God. He is also absent. Dr. Subbaram Reddy again. Yes, Sri Sukandar Shekhar Roy. He is present.
Sir, I move the Constitution Amendment Bill 2017, amendment of Article 366 for leave to introduce further to amend the Constitution of India.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. You may
Sir, I introduce the bill.
Sri Vivek Gupta.
Sir, I beg to move for leave to introduce the Representation of People Amendment Bill 2016 to further amend the Representation of Peoples Act 1951.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Now you introduce the bill.
Sir, I introduce the bill.
Sri Vivek Gupta, one more bill. Yes.
Sir, I beg to move for leave to introduce the Population Stabilization Bill 2017 to increase the minimum age of marriage for women from 18 years to 21 years and to establish a National Population Stabilization Authority to look into the schemes to encourage two-child norm and having an appropriate gap between children, incentivizing adoption, creating recreational center in villages, formulating policies wherein certain minimum criteria is present before a family can start having children, and for all matters connected here in the incident thereto.
You were rejecting the bill.
All right. Question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against will say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Yes, now you introduce
I
it.
introduce the bill.
Now, another bill again, Sri Vivek Gupta.
Sir, I beg to move for leave to introduce the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2017, a bill further to amend the Constitution of India.
Okay, the question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Says introduce the bill.
I introduce the bill.
Yes. Now, Sanjay Seth has come. Yeah, please. You can move.
मैं देश की गरीबी रेखा से नीचे रहने वाले अथवा निम्न आय वर्ग के अंतर्गत आने वाले परिवारों हेतु एक निशुल्क अथवा ऐसी उचित लागत पर आवास प्रदान करके तथा आवास खरीदने हेतु निम्न आय वर्ग के परिवारों को ब्याज मुक्त ऋण प्रदान कर उनके लिए यथोचित निवास गृह का उपबंध करने तथा संगत और उसके अनुषंगित विषयों का उपबंध करने के लिए एक विधेयक को पुनः स्थापित करने की अनुमति मांगता हूँ।
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. I think the ayes have, the ayes have, the ayes have. आप introduce कर.
मैं विधेयक को पुनः स्थापित करता हूँ।
Okay, thank you. All right. Now we will, yes, we will take up consideration of the bill. Okay, today being Friday, the House will sit up to 5 p.m. You agree? Okay, because Friday, yes. What is your point?
Sir, Mr. Deputy Chairman, sir, please listen to me carefully, because it is a very important point of order. It has a bearing on all the 30 bills that have been listed today in today's list of business, and it has a bearing on all private members' bill in future. So please bear with me for a couple of minutes, sir. Sir, I'm very careful. I'm not going to say anything which will force you to expunge what I said, because what I said last
why
time
you think like
on
that?
a private member's bill, you ended up expunging it. So I'll be very careful.
No. I will be very careful.
Sir.
I will be very careful to expunge if there is anything unparliamentary.
I am very careful, sir. Sir,
Okay.
we all know under which rule
Yeah.
of the Rajya Sabha's rule of procedure and conduct of business,
Okay.
a particular private member's bill is classified as a money bill or not a money bill. We all know that.
Okay.
It's there in the Constitution, it's there in the rules of procedure. The decision of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha is final. You refer it if there is a doubt, and the Speaker gives a decision. So that's,
Okay.
chapter is over. My clarification, which I am seeking from you, relates not to money bills, but relates to financial bills of category A. And I have three clarifications to seek from you, sir. First, I would like to know from you under which rule of the Rajya Sabha's rule of procedure and conduct of business, a particular private member's bill is classified as a financial bill of category A or not. So under which rule? Number one. Number two, I would like to know from you under which rule of the Rajya Sabha's rule of procedure and conduct of business a reference is made to the Ministry of Law and Justice for determining whether a private member's bill is a financial bill of category A or not. And my third clarification from you is, under which rule of the Rajya Sabha's rule of procedure and conduct of business is the decision of the Lok Sabha Secretary General, not the Speaker, of the Lok Sabha Secretary General taken as the final decision whether a private member's bill is a financial bill of category A or not? So in short, sir, my clarification is on financial bill of category A. I have three questions. First, what rule is used to determine whether a bill is financial bill of category A? Two, under which rule does the Rajya Sabha make a reference to the Ministry of Law and Justice for determining whether it is a financial bill of category A? And third, under which rule does the Rajya Sabha accept the decision of the Lok Sabha Secretary General on a particular bill being financial bill of category A? So these clarifications affect all private members' bill. They affect the independent functioning and autonomy and dignity of this House, and it is because of this that I have raised the point of order.
Okay, now I understood. You are very clever. You are very clever. I don't say cunning. That is not parliamentary. You are very clever because you are indirectly. No, that is why I said I am not using that. That is why I said I am not using that. Betty. I said you are very clever and intelligent too. You are coming back to the, a particular bill for which there is a ruling. But without mentioning that, you are, yes, that is why I said you are very clever. Yeah. You see, that's why I said you are very clever. Say, very clever. And the academic aspect of it, I can appreciate also, even though, since you did not refer to any particular ruling, well, I will come to what you said. First, what you want to know, who will decide the financial bill? Now, I'll tell you. You see, I'll tell you, Constitution, I'll tell you. Constitution is very clear about the money bill, and Constitution has also said what a financial bill could be. And accordingly, the chair will decide. With regard to money bill, if there is a question, if there is a doubt, if the question is raised, then if there is a doubt, certainly it is the Honorable Speaker. But with regards to financial bill, we need not refer it to the Speaker. It is for us to decide, and here the decision will be taken. That is number one. But according to the provisions of the Constitution, whatever is, and the rule, if there is, that is a financial bill. So we will take the decision. Or simply what you want to say is, you want to ask is, perhaps I understand, who decided it is a financial bill? Yes, we decided. We decided it a financial bill. It's a financial bill. For that, we are not asking the Lok Sabha Honorable Speaker. Second, your question is, what is it, your question, second question?
The reference made to the Ministry of Law and Justice.
Okay, that I will tell you. For that I want to say, see that, yes, you asked, I know, you asked that question, you didn't say, I can say it. You asked that question from a ruling given here because of a reference there. I know that. That is why you made it. But you are intelligent enough not to divulge it. I understand that. Okay, I only appreciate your, but the point is, that is a procedural matter. That is a procedural matter done in the Secretariat, and therefore it cannot be discussed here. But however, you are free to approach the chairman in the chamber and raise this issue. It being a Secretariat matter, I cannot allow a discussion here. Pardon?
Sir, other members also, the House has got the right to know what is happening behind the curtains.
this is not an issue of one bill. It affects all members.
Yeah.
It affects all bills.
I didn't dispute your point. Even though there is no point of order in what you said, I concede, prima facie, there is some points there. I concede that. That is why I am going to reply to you. First point, I did, Ramachandra Rao said, I know, Ramachandra, your interest in this. I know. I also know you are behind it. Sit down. You are not only standing behind, you are behind it. Sit down. Eh?
That remark of yours,
No.
that he was behind.
He is
this-
behind, he is
No.
standing there behind. That's what I
No,
said.
he's only,
He is standing there behind.
he's only physically behind.
Ah,
not
okay.
intellectually behind.
You put it like that, no problem. I have no problem. अरे बैठिए. अरे बैठिए. अरे please. अरे please. You are, allow me. No, man. Whatever reply is to be given, I am giving. First I gave the reply. Who decide? We decide. And what is the rule according to the provision of the Constitution? That I have. Number two, because since it's a procedural matter, referring a bill for law ministry or that ministry, it's a procedural matter, then in the secretariat, and definitely that is ultimately the responsibility of the honorable chairman. Therefore, we cannot discuss the secretariat matter here. So, but my advice is you can approach the chairman in his chamber. Then he will. Eh? No, then you have not raised it. He has only raised it. Yeah. Now, then that is the point. Third, what is the third point?
Under which rule does the Rajya Sabha decide that the decision of the Lok Sabha Secretary General on a bill being financial bill or not?
No, there is no, you understood. There is no rule by which you decide. Lok Sabha, for Rajya Sabha, we go by the advice of, if at all, Secretary General, not Lok Sabha Secretary General. We don't take the advice of Lok Sabha Secretary General. We don't do that.
I have raised this issue because what you have said forces me to refer to a case in the recent past,
I told you, I understood. It is
2
from
months ago,
I understood.
where the Lok Sabha Secretary General's observation
No, that was his
and
only opinion.
decision was quoted
No,
to
listen.
determine whether a bill was a
It is in the
financial bill or
ruling.
not.
No, I understood. Yes, it is public document. It is in the ruling. What you say is public document. It is in the ruling. In the ruling, it is stated that Lok Sabha Secretary General opined. That was the opinion. It's only an opinion. It's only an opinion. Anybody can give an opinion. You see, I can listen to you and your opinion can also be accepted. So there is no much more sanctity because for Rajya Sabha, it is our Secretary General and our Secretary. If Lok Sabha Secretary General has opined like that, given an opinion like that, simply because of that we need not reject also. That is all. Nothing more. That is only an opinion. We go by, we don't give, we go by the decision of the Speaker with regard to money bill. But other thing is only opinion. We don't take that seriously. Whatever decision or whatever ruling is given is our ruling. That ruling. And that is valid also. I think all the three questions I have answered. No.
With your
No,
answer, sir. Because, no, seriously, sir, financial bill of category A or not, you are saying it is determined by this house.
Yeah.
But in 2 months ago, we were
But
given,
decision is ours.
we were given to understand that that was not the basis for deciding whether it is a financial bill. The basis was, number one, the Lok Sabha Secretary General, number two, the Ministry of Law and Justice.
No, that is only a reference.
Nowhere was
See,
it
you are
mentioned
not,
in the Rajya Sabha
see,
Secretariat.
that is only reference made, might have been made or may not have been made, but it is there, I accept in the ruling, it is there, reference is made.
Under which rule did you make that?
No, that, you see, that point I told you, since that is a procedural matter, I am not ready to reply to that or discuss it. That's a procedural matter, you may approach the Honorable Chairman. That's all, that is over, okay. Nothing more. No, that's enough. Yeah. Yeah, no. Okay. All right. No, nothing more. So that's enough. Now, Constitutional Amendment Bill further consideration by whom? By Tiruchi Shiva, is it? Tiruchi Shivaji. Yes. What was the latest position? Who was speaking? Spoke for 5 minutes at that time. Last day. Eh?
Yeah, I just
So you
finished it.
continue then.
I just finished, yes, sir.
Yeah, continue then. Okay. All right.
Sir, my bill to further amend the Constitution of India. Why it is, I have to elucidate first, sir. Article 324 of the Constitution, Superintendent's direction and control of elections to be vested in an election commission. And in 324(6), it says that the President or the Governor of a state shall, when so requested by the Election Commission, make available to the Election Commission or to a regional commissioner such staff as may be necessary for the discharge of the functions conferred on the Election Commission by Class 1. Sir, my amendment is that such staff as may be necessary in that place, excluding the teachers. Appointment of teachers as electoral officers has resulted in the absenteeism of teachers at schools, and the repercussion has been felt a lot. Sir, many teacher community, people belonging to that, they approached me and expressed their concern because of being employed for election duties. The amount of strain they undergo, and because of that, their concentration on studies is lacking. Sir, the American Commission on Teachers' Education very rightly observes, sir, the quality of a nation depends upon the quality of its citizens. The quality of the citizens, though not exclusively, but in critical measure upon the quality of their education. And the education undoubtedly depends upon any single factor upon the quality of the teachers. So the importance of teachers is no secret. Schools and society seek out for the best teachers they could get because of the belief the success of the students lies only because of the teachers. So a teacher not only imparts education, but also inspires and motivates the students to grow and develop as good citizens. The quality and extent of learner achievement is certainly determined primarily by teacher competence, sensitivity, and teacher motivation. A true democracy is one where education is universal. Sir, but our country, after too many years of independence, after many decades of independence, that is in the dawn of the 21st century only, the children aged 6 to 14 of our nation gained the fundamental right to education under Article 21A, sir. Sir, and it says that the state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of the age of 6 to 14 years in such manner as the state may by law determine. Sir, India's educational report card leaves ample room for improvement. The World Economic Forum's Human Capital Index, which takes into account educational quality in addition to access, in 2016 ranked India at 105 out of 130 countries. So it's a very sorry state of affairs. A developing country, rather a developed country, which is expected to be number one in the global level on many grounds. Whereas in education, it is placed in the 105th place among 130 countries. Further, as per the annual status of education report, survey 2016, which is administered by the Indian NGO, Pratham, it was found that learning of mathematics is a serious and major source of concern. As per All India figures, rural figures especially, for basic arithmetic in 2016, only 27% of class 3 students could do a basic 2-digit subtraction. For class 5 students, the proportion of students who could do a basic 2-digit subtraction is in fact lower at 26.1%. The reading levels of students is not much better either. As per the ASIR report, 46% of class 1 students could not even recognize the letters of their preferred language. For class 3 students, only 25% of the students were able to reach a standard 2 level text. In another independent survey commissioned in 2014 by the Ministry of Human Resources Development, 60.64 lakh children were estimated to be out of school in the age of group of 6 to 13 years. Again, the Ministry of HRD also commissioned 2 studies for the attendance assessment rate of students and teachers in 2006 and 7 and 2012 and 13. As per the study, 15.2% of the teachers at primary schools were absent during 2012-13. The figure was worse for the upper primary schools with the teacher absenteeism at 16.9% during 2012 and 13. Sir, the importance of the role played by the Election Commission, which is a constitutional body, cannot be undermined. While the Parliament is empowered to frame law as regards conduct of elections, the superintendence and direction and control of holding the elections is the sole responsibility of the Election Commission. Sir, it's a very recently we got an information or a statistic that in Madhya Pradesh, 4,000 schools don't have even one teacher, sir. In this situation, when the vacancy is so much, appointment of teachers as election officers.
Why? No teacher in 400 schools. Why?
Yeah, that has to be gone into,
No
sir.
teachers?
Yes,
No qualified teachers?
Yes, sir. Schools don't have teachers at all.
We can give any number of
This
teachers.
was very alarming, sir, to receive that. And which are the states? I should say that, given that a total of 9,07,585 posts of teachers are vacant in the country. Already when there is so much of vacancies there, leaving the students without proper coaching, even the teachers who are employed are sent to election duty and they are being trained, and teachers, especially lady teachers who go there, the sufferings they undergo. Any person who is employed or deputed for election duty, they are taken care of other people, whereas these teachers are not taken care of. They don't have any place to go and settle. They don't have any place of convenience for lady teachers for 2 or 3 days. And the mental strain they undergo during that period, and they are also branded with, stamped with some political affinity, whatever may happen there. And when they come back, their concentration on teaching the students come down. Already vacancy is, sir, it is alarming, sir. You yourself will agree, sir. 9,07,585 posts are
How
vacant.
is that possible? That is what
That's it, sir.
Is it?
I think the ministry
I think
will
Ministry
reply
of
to that.
HRD Ministry.
Day before yesterday also we were discussing, a question came that even in the Central University, some 6,000 professors are vacant.
Yesterday only.
Yesterday.
No, university professor, there may be shortage of qualified hands.
Sir, no, sir. There are abundance, sir. Qualified students, qualified candidates are available much in the country. Only the recruitment process. It is only the administrator mistake only, sir, not lack of candidates, sir. They are employing guest lecturers. Why? They are, of course, qualified. But the recruitment process is not proper in this country. Delhi University itself has got 3,000 odd vacancies. It's very, very sad. We say that we are bothered about the standard of education, whereas the universities are lying vacant without professors, and the schools are with an alarming vacancy of 9 lakh and odd, sir. See, education towards, again the Ministry of Human, I don't go into evasive collection of reports, sir. Even the Ministry of HRD in 2014 titled Education for All Towards Quality with Equity. It says that which are the vacancies lying in the state, sir. Very, very, very shortly I will say. It is Uttar Pradesh. Vacancies against sanctioned SSA, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan post, 1,24,196.
My God.
Vacancy against total post sanction under state program, 1,45,334. On the whole, sir, in UP only, 2,69,539 vacancies. In Bihar, 2,19,066. In West Bengal, it is 1,05,200.
Sir, here I would like to support him. It was there, but recently, in this week, more than 50,000 primary teachers are being recruited.
This has to be appreciated. Maybe the state government is taking initiative.
But this is a serious.
Yes.
Jharkhand, 69,163.
HRD, anybody, HRD minister, nobody is here. HRD is not there. Then who will help me? Now, Parliamentary Affairs Minister is not there. So I would request MD Akbar Sahab to convey to the HRD Minister this very important point that in some states, if the number said is correct here, more than 1 lakh teachers vacancy in Uttar Pradesh and similarly large number in Madhya Pradesh, in no other. If it is shortage of qualified teachers, no problem, we can have in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, there are enough number of qualified, we can give you. Otherwise, fill it. Otherwise, what is the point of education you are saying? So please convey the concern.
We should do so.
Thank you. No,
Sir,
please
I am
proceed.
doubtful about sir. Sir, already so many students are passing out with the necessary qualification and they are also well trained for teacher education and everything, but they are not employed. So many people come to us with having an MPhil or having completed B.Ed.
Okay, you proceed,
They
you
say,
proceed.
give some job for 5,000 rupees, we will do any work.
Thank the chair that
So,
he has.
so it's not lack of qualified candidates.
Thank the chair that he has expressed.
Sir, I am thankful to the chair, sir, that you have instructed the minister to take care of it, sir, on behalf of the teacher community. Sir, given the large number of vacant posts, the absence of teachers from their teaching duties is adding to the distress of students and has a major impact on the students as it may lead to non-completion of syllabi on time as well as low levels of learning. Sir, the Honorable Supreme Court, in its 2007 judgment of Election Commission of India versus St. Mary's School and others, stated that holding of an election is no doubt of paramount importance, but the education of children cannot be neglected for this purpose. The Supreme Court has observed, sir, with an advent of technology, the requisitioning of a large number of people may not be necessary. We notice that the Election Commission has different roles to play. The Election Commission, in our opinion, can formulate an effective scheme to see that services of a large number of teachers is not required. Sir, this is the observation of the Supreme Court, not myself. Some of my colleagues here, when they were discussing with me aside, they said if teachers are not appointed, where else can we go? There are alternate arrangements. The retired teachers who are already trained are there. So many unemployed youth whom you can recruit and give training and you can use them for election duty, which is a short-term duty. Whereas these teachers, when they are taken out of the schools from their regular, already they are working less than the hours which is prescribed by the RTE Act. In such situation, if they are not attending the schools and their mental strain, if it distracts them from teaching the students in the proper manner, it's much worrisome, sir. Further, the Honorable Supreme Court in its judgment also noted the state of primary education in India is a deplorable condition. There's a heavy dropout from the schools, particularly from amongst the girls. This is also the observation of the Supreme Court. Sir, it would be important to note here that there's a huge pool of non-teaching staff and retired teachers who have experience in discharging election duties. And it has learned recently that the Democratic Teachers Front had complained to the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights to take stringent action against the officials who had deputed teachers for non-educational duties. According to the DTF, the state of Punjab has 3,65,473 employees other than teachers who can carry out non-educational duties. Further, under the current structure, teachers are already doing less than 45 hours, sir. And teachers of the state of Punjab taught only for 167 days as against the minimum of 220 days required for them, for class 8. In another judgment by the Rajasthan High Court, in May 2015, in the Syed Saeed Ali was a director secondary education and others, the court ordered that assigning additional non-teaching responsibilities to teachers needs to be seriously considered as it affects their primary responsibility of teaching. And the students are the worst sufferers because of such diversion of responsibilities. The board results of the school in question in case showed sharp decline in its performance with the result of the students in the class 10 mathematics examination. Sir, again an alarming statistic, sir. The class 10 mathematics examination declining from 77.41% in 2010-11 to 41.17% in 2011-12. And further to a shocking low of 20.73% in 2012 and 13. This is the result of the mathematics examination. So when already much concentration has to be diverted to the study of education, students, sir, when the teachers are diverted, it brings much worse situation, sir. This shows that teaching has been a casualty due to this additional responsibility bestowed on the teachers. Sir, in light of the Supreme Court judgment and the Ministry of, again I say, sir, not on various other reports, the Ministry of HRD issued a guideline on 13th of September 2010 that clarified Section 27 was placed to free teachers from deployment for non-educational duties other than those which are considered to be essential. Sadly, the guidelines given by the ministry have failed to ensure that the Election Commission does not appoint teachers for election duty during teaching hours. This has not only resulted in students losing several days of classroom study, but also in lower grades and inadequate learning. This lack of attention not only hampers their learning, but in the long run might also result in their unemployability. Not unemployment, sir, unemployability. And recently the ISRO has given a statement, out of the passed out engineering graduates in this country, sir, only 26% are employable. It is the ISRO statement. Out of the total number of passed out engineering graduates, only 26% are employable. And in this case, when the students are deprived of this sort of lack of teaching by the teachers, for they are deputed for some other non-teaching duties, the unemployability will increase, sir. Not unemployment, again I say unemployability. In addition to affecting the performance of students, deployment teachers on non-teaching duties, such as elections, further reflects in the schools. Schools are institutes where democratic ideals such as equality, freedom and justice are instilled in individuals. For democracy to continue to thrive, children must be taught to value it as a way of life. Qualities such as tolerance, acceptance, global awareness, etc. Sir, in addition to the academic skill of mathematics, science and social sciences, rests with the teachers to shape the children in all possible ways, to shape the child to face this competitive world that exists today. Teachers' beliefs, their thoughts and decisions, determination, all these things should be converted or communicated to the students, sir, on educational matters occupy a major part of the psychological context of the teaching process. Sir, children up to the age of 14, they mostly at the time of working, they are at school than at home, sir. So the responsibility of bringing up the children rests mostly with the teachers than the parents. In this case, when already there are so many number of vacancies, the teachers who are already employed are diverted, sir. This causes very serious, worrisome problem for the future. More educated and better educated citizens will also result in better governance and improved health outcome. Sir, according to a report innovation, sir, this is a very, very good example, because when some people raise a question, who else will be deputed? In the United States of America, local citizens above the age of 18 may volunteer to serve as election officers at a local polling station. These volunteers are given special training which would enable them to discharge their duties efficiently. According to a report, Innovation in Election Administration, released by the Federal Election Commission of USA, one of the most surprising aspects of the volunteers program is that requesting volunteer support actually appeals to people who otherwise may not consider working at a polling place. This opens up a whole new population of potential election workers for beyond the limited resource base of retired senior citizens. In Australia, the Australian Election Commission employs around 80,000 Australians on a short-term temporary basis for electoral events and duties, and they are remunerated accordingly. Citizens of Australia above the age of 18 can register with the Election Commission and are thus deployed on election duties. Why not our country follow the same? I think this is nothing wrong. It's a very good precedent. Those who are willing to serve as election officers can enroll themselves in the nearby...
What is the control over them? If they misbehave, what you will do?
Sir?
What is the control over them? If they do some hanky-panky, what you will do?
Sir, no one can be assured of that, sir. No one can be assured how they will behave there. I don't want to degrade anyone. Whoever you may depute, we have only a trust on them that they would act unprejudicedly. So it is also the confidence or the trust we have to vest upon the youth in this country. Of course, we should have more trust on them. When they are offering themselves as per, now, that's what I said. Not only this, retired teachers could be employed. Other than the unemployed youth, the retired teachers who are already experienced in election duties could be employed, sir. So this is the situation. And recently, the Minister of MOS HRD has given in a press note recently, government is planning to relieve teachers from poll duties, says Mr. Kateria, the MOS of HRD. So, sir, in my introductory speech, I would urge that in the interest of the nation and the future of the children who are at schools, and also considering the pains and sufferings which the teachers are undergoing by way of engaging themselves in other non-teaching duties. They are not able to concentrate on teaching the students, thereby diminishing the already declining standard of education in our nation, sir. Already the existing vacancies are alarming, as well as this thing, if it continues, that will not help the education to come up. So I would urge the House, sir, to adopt this bill, and or the Minister would, I think, consider. And this, since the Ministry, MOS has already given a statement that the government is planning to relieve teachers from poll duties, I expect very, very hopefully that the Ministry will take necessary steps not to appoint teachers and would suggest the Election Commission. For that, sir, I bring this bill to amend Constitution 324(6). Only one with it should be added. Such a step, excluding the teachers, may be. That is my amendment to this bill, sir. And with these words, sir, I move the bill for consideration. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Srimati Viplav Thakur.
कि आपने इस बिल पर जो प्राइवेट बिल शिवाजी लेके आए हैं, ये एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण बिल है, अमेंडमेंट जो है, क्योंकि शिक्षा जो है वो हमारे बच्चों का बनाने का, फ्यूचर का, आने वाली पीढ़ियों का एक आधार है। अगर उसी में कमी है, अगर उसी में कमजोरी रह जाती है, तो हमारी पीढ़ी जो है, आने वाली जनरेशन जो है, वो आगे नहीं बढ़ सकती। यही नहीं कि टीचर्स को केवल चुनाव के समय ही नहीं लगाया जाता, ये एक ऐसी अध्यापकों की जमात है जिसको आलू की तरह सब जगह फिट कर दिया जाता है। जैसे कहते हैं कि आलू को कहीं भी डाल दीजिए, किसी भी सब्जी में डाल दीजिए, ऐसे ही ये अध्यापकों की जमात है। अगर आपने सेंसस का करवाना है तब अध्यापकों को भेज दो, अगर आपने बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन का सर्वे करवाना है तब अध्यापकों को भेज दो। अध्यापक हो गए कि क्या हो गया, ये नहीं सोचा जाता कि जिन अध्यापकों के नीचे बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं उनका भविष्य क्या होगा। अभी जैसे इन्होंने बताया कितनी कमी है अध्यापकों की, और विशेष करके जो प्राइमरी स्कूल है, जो 1ली से 5वीं तक उपाध्यक्षीय क्लासेस होती हैं, जहां बच्चों को एबीसी सिखानी है, 1 2 3 सिखाना है, काखा गा सिखाना है, अगर वहां ही अध्यापक नहीं बनने रहेंगे तो हम नींव कैसे डालेंगे। इतने इतने बड़े हम पॉलिटेक्निकल कॉलेजेस, मेडिकल कॉलेजेस, IIM, MBA, ये सब कुछ खोल रहे हैं, लेकिन उन बच्चों की नींव नहीं बन रही क्योंकि वहां पर अध्यापक नहीं। चुनाव के समय जिस तरह से सुप्रीम कोर्ट की है, और होता है खास करके गांव में, टीचर जो है पहले एक्सरसाइज के लिए जाएगा, उसको सिखाया जाएगा कि आपने किस तरह से वोटिंग मशीन हैंडल करनी है। 3 दिन वहां उसके लग जाते हैं, फिर 4 दिन पहले वो पोलिंग बूथ पे पहुंच जाता है। अब बताइए बच्चों का कितना नुकसान होता है, उनकी भरपाई कौन करेगा, कौन जिम्मेदार है इसके लिए। इसलिए मैं चाहूंगी कि इसमें अमेंडमेंट होना चाहिए। टीचर्स को न केवल चुनाव के लिए बाकी भी किसी के लिए भी जो है नहीं ड्यूटी पे रखा जाना चाहिए। टीचर्स जो है, अध्यापक जो है, वो हमारे बच्चों के कर्णधार है। अगर वो नहीं है तो बच्चा क्या पढ़ेगा, विशेष करके गांव के स्कूलों में जहां पे टीचर्स का होना बहुत जरूरी है, जहां पे वैसे ही 2 मुश्किल से अध्यापक मिलते हैं 5 क्लासों के लिए, चाहे 10th क्लास है चाहे वो 12th क्लास है। पूरे टीचर्स नहीं होते, वहां से भी उनको भेज दिया जाता है। तो बताइए किस तरह से हमारा जो है विद्या के उसमें, पढ़ाई के उसमें या शिक्षा में उन्नति हो सकती है, उसको आगे बढ़ाया जा सकता है, उसमें इम्प्रूवमेंट हो सकती है, अगर हम अपने बच्चों के लिए अध्यापक की नहीं करेंगे। वैसे कमी है और ये ड्यूटियां लगाने के बाद इनमें और कमी आ जाती है। तो चुनाव आयोग को भी चाहिए कि वो सरकार को ऐसी इंस्ट्रक्शंस दे कि माइनस टीचर, बहुत स्टाफ होता है, पूरी गवर्नमेंट भरी पड़ी है, ओवरबर्डन्ड है एम्प्लॉइज के उस पे, उनको क्यों नहीं इस्तेमाल किया जाता? क्लर्क्स हैं, सुपरिटेंडेंट है, सुपरवाइजर है, कई विभाग है जहां पे एम्प्लॉइज है, उन्हें क्यों नहीं रखा जाता? कहीं प्रिंसिपल जाएगा, कहीं हेडमास्टर जाएगा, कहीं कोई और टीचर जाएगा। क्यों हम टीचर्स को इस तरह से क्यों देखते हैं? क्यों नहीं उनकी रिस्पेक्ट को देखते? क्यों नहीं उनके आदर को देखते कि वही हमारा भविष्य बनाने वाले हैं बच्चों के? इसलिए मैं चाहूंगी, मैं कहूंगी कि इस अमेंडमेंट को माना जाना चाहिए और ये बिल्कुल किया जाना चाहिए, केवल चुनाव के लिए ही नहीं, मैं तो कहूंगी किसी बात के लिए भी अध्यापकों का जो है वो प्रयोग नहीं होना चाहिए, उनकी ड्यूटीज नहीं लगनी चाहिए। मैं शिवाजी के साथ हूं, इनको सपोर्ट करती हूँ। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Srila Ganesh.
Respected Deputy Chairman, sir, I am very happy that I had an opportunity to speak on this occasion. Though I have come as a member of this Rajya Sabha for the first time, as a member of the Parliament for the first time, and first time I have got a chance to speak also. I am not, it may be a maiden speech, if you permit me. लेकिन इस विषय के बारे में बोलने के लिए इतना समय भी नहीं चाहिए, फिर भी संक्षेप में मैं मेरा मन में क्या सोच रहा हूं, अपना शिवा वो प्रपोज किए हैं अमेंडमेंट इसके बारे में. Just I want to briefly tell 1 or 2, 3 points about that. I support, I agree with the concern that expressed by my good friend Sri Tiruchi Shiva. But at the same time, there was nobody can object about the treatment or the work given to the teachers at the cost of the education. Everybody agree with that. But this alternative solution has not been mentioned specifically. The alternative suggested by picking up some people from outside is more dangerous as on today. Because the political situation or politics is not that much clean in our country. I am very sorry to say this. The government at the ruling power, it may be the state government mainly, and all the government servants as on today, even today, the government servant, the teacher, they are all afraid of the ruling party at the state. Something happens in the polling booth, they are not able to prevent it. So in that case, how we can expect people from outside who have been recruited? So it's a question mark. That is why what I want to say here is, we have to think about the alternative, otherwise the remedy will be more dangerous than the disease. So that is the only point that I want to mention, that my objection is only about that. As per as the suggestion given by him, the concern expressed by him about the teachers being recruited for the election work, I am one with him, I agree with him. But sir, what I want to say is, the election rules, it is such a serious affair. Even day before yesterday, our Honorable President of India has also mentioned in his speech about conducting the election simultaneously. At least the Lok Sabha election and the Assembly elections. So that is also being considered on the other side. So instead of piecemeal amendment, a holistic approach must be there. Let the government at the center appoint a group of people, experts, let them discuss, even let them take into consideration of the suggestion given by Shiva, and whatever that we want to change the law, election rules, once for all we will do it. This is the right time to do it. I have got my own suggestions also, where the teachers are employed in the election work. In the beginning, while preparing the electoral list, unfortunately, after getting independence, even now, the election commission is not able to prepare a perfect voter list. Even today, many names are left, many dead people are, even today they are voting somehow, and the photos are changed, male become female and female become male, addresses are changed. Even today it is happening. Even then, I appreciate our election commission. But in India, a country like India, where we have got a large population, and the only country in the whole world where more number of people are voting, we are conducting the general election. I have accepted. But even then, it is not perfect. That is why the teachers are involved. My suggestion is, nowadays people are not writing letters. इनके लिए डाक हो है ना अपना post office. Gradually the post office is losing its relevance because the sabhas are not coming. Nobody is normally writing it. Everything has come in cell phone or even internet. But fortunately yesterday our government, I have to really appreciate that we are making use of the post office, and even nowadays passport will be issued in the post office. The post office become a banking system. So this is a good thing, they are engaged. But my suggestion is involve the post office, involve the postman. He is the only person, not only for one program he is visiting every house as a duty, almost daily visiting houses. He knows each and everybody in the house. By name he can tell everybody. Involve the post office, involve the postman. And you can prepare the voter list almost pakka. This is my suggestion. So the teachers need not be involved at that time. This is one aspect I want to see. And second thing is, the percentage of votes is not increasing. In spite of our effort, I am very happy about the election commission last time. Even from the election commission they have made propaganda that 100%, at least 80-90% of the votes should be there. Even then, a city like Chennai, and moreover in the constituency like South Madras, where more educated people are there, the percentage of vote is hardly 60%. So, for that, what is the reason for that? This also should be, we have to, whether we can give some incentives for the voters or otherwise negatively some punishment, that should be also be thought over. While thinking about the whole election reform, we have to think of all the aspects of that. These are all the aspects that we have to discuss in detail. And then, who will manage the election is a very good big question mark. One small suggestion I can give. If it is a state election, naturally the employees under the state government, they are helping the state government. I am telling only in my experience of Tamil Nadu. This is the experience of Tamil Nadu. So only central government employees should be involved in the assembly election. That can to certain extent will solve the problem instead of allow me to come. Madam, I am not dealing to you. Allow me to continue. Allow me.
To tell that.
Okay, all right.
Sir, I will not.
He didn't say any party. Vigilaji, he didn't say any party. No, he didn't blame your party or any party. He only said generally. All right, now you sit down. PK. No, your name is next, then you can speak. Sit down. Your name is next, then you can speak. Yeah.
Though I have not mentioned any political party,
but
I'm
she
happy
felt
that
it.
Shiva is silent and the madam must.
She felt it. Even though you did not mention a party, she felt it. Sit down.
I align with you, sir, so I can.
That's okay.
I support it. I concur with you.
All right, sit down.
Sir, you have well understood about what I have not told publicly. And as far as conducting the simultaneous election is concerned, I am one with that. There may be so many problems of that, as I already told you. Experts should sit and discuss about. I will tell one example, sir. Our the very famous able Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Bhairavan Shekhawat, he visited Tamil Nadu. I was State General Secretary organization in charge of Tamil Nadu. I accommodated him. Then I asked him, that was the time, BJP failed in the election, we launched the rule, Shekhawat was the Chief Minister. I asked him, sir, I was told that you were the very able, efficient Chief Minister of Rajasthan, but even then, how is it that you could not win the election? That was the time the central government had dismissed some 3-4 state governments after December 6th incident at Ayodhya, and the by-election, BJP got defeated in Rajasthan. So, Shekhawat told me an experience, this is a very interesting experience which is relevant about conducting the simultaneous elections of the both Lok Sabha and Assembly. He said, you know what we will do? Just before the election, the state government will announce all the freebies and all concession, no taxes. We will get elected. The first year budget, we will not tax the people. Again, it will be a very soft budget. Anyhow, to run the government, we want money. The second year, our budget will be a little harsh. And the third year, whatever that money we want, it will be very harsh and we will tax more. And unfortunately, just when we presented the budget the third year, my government got dismissed and the people were angry with me. This is how we, again the fourth year it will be less and fifth year practically there will be no taxes. So every 5 years. So what happens, you know, the problem is with the central government. Now today, election commission has told that the budget you should not say anything which is favorable to the election facing states. Next year the budget time also, what is the guarantee there will be no elections in other states of India? Every year there are some elections somewhere in India. Then what will the central government can do? The same thing happens to the state government also. Every time somewhere or other. So the central government only to pacify the voters, thinking about getting more votes, and they will not be realistic, they will not prepare a realistic budget. That is the problem. That is why once in 5 years only the election should be there. That will solve all the problems of the government. And not only that, the people are given mandate for a party. Allow them to work for 5 years and then let them face the election. So these are all the things, especially for the nationalist party like BJP and the Congress also they may face. And everywhere, every year there will be some elections in some state. Yesterday one of my colleagues has told about criticizing the Prime Minister going around the election campaign. Prime Minister does not want it. Allow him to work as Prime Minister. Allow the ministers to work as the minister. So if it is once in 5 years, the ministers also they can concentrate in their respective responsibility. In all these things should put together. And another point, unnecessarily, the counting system also nowadays. Why this much time? So recently, 2 years ago, there was an election in Sri Lanka. I was really surprised. The counting was over in the night. Early morning, the result declared. Yesterday morning, 10 o'clock, the Prime Minister took office. I was really surprised. Why not we do it? So all those things put, I have mentioned only 3-4 points about the election. The points raised by Mr. Shiva is very much relevant. So, but don't make amendment in the rules piecemeal. Let us all sit together. The entire elections will be discussed by the experts, and then permanently there will be some solution for the election. Whatever, this is my point. Thank you very much for giving me the time.
Thank you very much, Sri Ganesh. Srimati Vijaya Satyanath. Yeah.
Both of them?
You can participate in this in
This
the next
also,
also.
okay.
Oh, yes.
Being a teacher, I was reading out, having been a teacher, right. Now, as I've taken up my career in politics, before, as I was serving, I could get the views of the teachers, because now several teachers remain engaged in non-academic activities, like which includes works related to the school funds, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Rashtriya Madhyam Shiksha Abhiyan, thereby impacting the studies at the schools and violating Section 27 of the Right to Education Act 2009, which clearly prohibits such duties. The Act allows only 3 duties: census, disaster, and the election duties, only on polling and counting days. But despite orders, I know that the teachers are made to do such duties as the school heads don't relegate the work to the clerks. Because now most of the schools, the junior assistants and the people, those who do the errand jobs, are very, very limited. It is a policy matter, right? But as they do, the clerks mostly refuse to carry out all the duties, thereby forcing the teachers to do a multitask. So these are the teachers has to teach as well as do all these works in additional. According to the document assessed by HT, the then DPA in 2007 has sent a letter to the then DEO addressing some of the concerns I read out in an article. The works not being done by the ministerial staff at the schools, and it has been seriously noted by the officials. So I would like to raise here many concerns were there, and including some of the teachers, they were having very unfortunate happenings when they go to very remote villages for their election duties, for doing census and otherwise. But I have also another view in this, that how could the election commission then conduct the election? Who will be accountable? Only the teachers. Yes, the post office staff they can also be involved, but how far? You need a very volume of people. And every constituency needs about 1 lakh of people to be engaged in this. And so this operation, the Election Commission of India needs accountable people, and all the local body officials and all the officials are involved in this duty, and they are not sufficient for this work. So our Election Commission engages teachers in this 3 duties: the the census, disaster, and the election duties. And my point here, I want to just add up to their point, is just concentrate academic work alone for teachers, and then bestow these activities during the vacation time. Likewise, when we now talk about that we can have the assembly elections and parliamentary elections together, so both will be conducted at the same time, and it will be at a stretch, these people will be engaged during their summer holidays or the long holidays, where their normal work will not be interrupted. So that's what I wanted to put forth here. And with these words, as I had been an academician, I want to support my people, the teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Sri Dr. KBP Ramachandra Rao.
Thank you very much, sir, for allowing me, giving me an opportunity to support Honorable Tiruchi Siva's bill in regard to deploying or utilizing teachers in the election duties. So, in this regard, the Election Commission recently have modernized the system of elections itself. Sir, nowadays, it is not like olden days where you need lot of paperwork, where we need lot of explaining to the voters. And also, sir, after generation, the voters are becoming more wise, and the teachers need not be there to teach them how to vote. Sir, in this regard, particularly, the damage is being done done for the primary and secondary teachers, sir. The students who has to have a good foundation for their future, that is getting disturbed because of the absence of the teachers and because of the tensions the teachers go through their training and during the election time, sir. Sir, in this regard, what are the alternatives we have to look if the teachers are not there? Sir, the election commission, after the modernization of the election procedure, can find people from various other sectors to conduct the elections peacefully, and I am very sure they can come out with the alternatives with the help of the experts. And I once again thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to support Mr. Siva's bill, though he belongs to a party which doesn't believe in God, and his name is Mr. Siva. But still I support his bill.
Thank you.
Wholeheartedly.
Thank you. Now, Sri Anand Bhaskar Rapolu.
Respected Vice Chairman, by moving the bill to highlight the issue of the teachers' involvement in the electoral process, my elder Tiruchi Shivaji is seeking to focus on the quality of the education and to ease psychologically the teaching fraternity so that the foundations for the future generations will be safe in their hands. And the Supreme Court in 2007 has concretely observed that the primary and secondary school teachers shall not be deployed into the electoral assignments to save them from discharging their educating responsibilities. My concern is twofold. Though the government has looked at this as the issue of electoral conduction, hence it has just deployed the Union Minister of Law to take note of and to reply, wherein the Ministry of Human Resource Development is having the larger responsibility to hear the observations on this bill. Why? Because in schools, we need to look at the non-teaching responsibilities of the teachers, not only for the elections, not only for the census, not only to canvass in certain national event occasions, they are also doing the clerical assignments They are also becoming the watch and ward of the midday meal school service. And with this, the teaching concentration is lessened and the quality of education, particularly in government schools, are being doubted by the parents. This is also one of the reasons why the parents are not showing much interest to send their children to the government schools. The government teachers, to discharge their service of the midday meal to the school children, it is of everybody's experience that they will at least forego 2 classes, 45 into 45, 1.5 hour minimum daily service while in school to look at the kitchen so that the midday meal is made ready and it is served. In this backdrop, for conducting elections, for attaining census, elections of varieties, not only Lok Sabha, not only Assembly, but also cooperative, Panchayati Raj, several other elections were also being assigned to them. Besides that, they are also being utilized as the campaigners for certain national events. So, keeping the huge human resource available with large unemployment, why we shall not think in the lines of United States? Why we shall not think in the lines of Australia? In United States, teachers were never deployed on the electoral responsibilities. They were neither at polling booths or nor at counting booths. In Australia, there is the practice of having the short-term volunteers enrolled separately to organize and convene and conduct the elections as and when they are to be. This has to be the basis for electoral reforms. I appreciate the initiatives by the Election Commission. Now they are giving the voter slips on their own to each and every registered voter. They are giving the slip of acknowledgement as the doubts were raised on the utility of the EVMs and their functioning. Certain improvements are giving certain extra confidence to the electorate that they are properly recording their vote and their judgment is being properly taken care of. As Election Commission is showing extra interest, why not Union government come forward to think of a para-voluntary force consisting of able, registered, unemployed, educated and even eligible retired persons. With this para-voluntary force, we can not only safely conduct with trust the elections, we can also have the census, the rehabilitation activity and even warding at schools to take care of midday meal scheme and such student-related or community-related programs. These two aspects are falling in two different ministries. Particularly, I hope from the Union Minister of Law will communicate the concerns and sense of this House regarding the utilization of the teachers for the electoral duties to the Election Commission of India. But also, we expect that the Ministry of Human Resource Development will take note of the necessity of keeping the teachers psychologically free to enhance the quality of education and to give them only teaching and learning practices and keeping them away from the non-teaching roles. With this, we can ensure the students to have the confidence into the education system, and the parents will definitely be happy to send their children to the government schools in large number. This is the requirement of the day to improve the quality of education and to improve the electoral process, and for that let us think of para-voluntary force to utilize and achieve the targeted goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now Sri A. Navanita Krishnan.
Chairman, this is a constitutional amendment based upon the decision of our Honorable High Court has been moved by our Honorable Member. In the statement of objects and reasons also, it is very clearly mentioned that accordingly teachers are supposed to be assigned election duties only on Sundays and other holidays. The Supreme Court has held that this election work should not be entrusted to the teachers on working days. That is, their work shall not be affected because of this election work. The relevant portion I may be permitted to read. Quote, we would however notice that Election Commission before us also categorically stated that as far as possible, teachers would be put on electoral roll revision works on holidays, non-teaching days, non-teaching hours, whereas non-teaching staff be put on duty anytime. We therefore direct that all teaching staff shall be put on the duties of roll revisions and election works on holidays and non-teaching days. Teachers should not ordinarily be put on duty on teaching days and within teaching hours. Non-teaching staff, however, may be put on such duties on any day at any time if permissible in law. Again, at the risk of repetition, I read it. We therefore direct all the teaching staff shall be put on duties of roll revisions and election works on holidays and non-teaching days. So, the direction of the Honorable Supreme Court is that the teaching staff shall be put on duties of roll revisions and election works on holidays and non-teaching days. So the entire teaching community is not excluded. So this is my humble submission.
Thank you.
So the direction is that the state shall be put on duties of roll revisions and election works on holidays and non-teaching days. The Supreme Court judgment. So on working days, if it is affecting their classes, then they shall not be assigned with work. So my humble view is, subject to correction approved by these honorable members of this House, that this amendment is not at all required in pursuance or in pursuance of the direction of the Supreme Court judgment. But the, under Article 324, the Superintendent is vested with the Election Commission, and also two very vital important enactments are passed by our Parliament, namely Representation of the People Act 1950 and the Representation of People Act 1951. And these two enactments deal with requisitioning of officers for the purpose of election duty. So the section 159 is more important, I think, subject to correction. Stop 159. staff of certain authorities to be made available for election work, in which every local authority, every university established, incorporated by central or provincial state act, a government company defined, any other institutions concerned undertaking which is established by under central provincial, controlled or financed wholly or substantially by funds provided directly or by central government or state government. So if at all the government wants to take a policy decision, the stakeholders may be consulted. So because now the people are having more awareness, the law cannot be passed without consulting the stakeholders. So the persons who are going to be affected must be given an opportunity. So the teachers community may be given an opportunity. What is their views? Now my interpretation subject to correction and approval, teaching community cannot be employed during the class hours. So because and also further it is, further the Supreme Court says, teachers should not ordinarily be put on duty on teaching days and within teaching hours. So it is not totally excluded. And also I am of the very humble opinion that teaching community is still maintaining their impartial, clean image. They are the group of officials available in our governance that they are maintaining their impartiality, they are discharging their duties, they are the real role models for the students, they are the future of India. So, being a role model for the students, they act independently, judiciously, impartially. So there may be one or two complaints. It is the subject matter of a verification or inquiry. So my humble submission would be, the constitutional amendment is not at all required, first of all, and if at all required, only after consultation of all the stakeholders, only the necessary amendments may be made in these two enactments. I thank the Honorable Chairman. I conclude. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sri A. Vijay Sai Reddy.
The private member bill, what has been introduced by Tiruchi Shivaji, it has a rationale in that. In fact, the teachers, as of today, they are all deployed not only during the elections, even for the census, as well as for the election duties, which are detrimental to the interest of the students. It's a well-known fact. In fact, there is a Supreme Court judgment, not directly on this. I can bring it to your notice that the Supreme Court, the essence of the Supreme Court judgment is either the ministers or the members of the parliament or members of the assembly who engage the teachers as personal assistants for them, for which they are entitled. That Supreme Court has categorically stated that it is prohibited under law. There is no way that teachers can be deployed either for political purpose or for electoral purposes, even for that matter, even for the purpose of census also, calculation of census also. Therefore, the private member bill has got a rationale. Yeah, Supreme Court judgment, Apex Court judgment. So there is no way that the Apex Court judgment can be deviated or violated.
Do you have the citation? Do you have the citation?
Sir, I don't remember, but I can produce to you tomorrow. If you permit me, I can take the copy of the Supreme Court judgment, I can produce it to you. There is a specific prohibition imposed by the Supreme Court by its verdict, wherein the deployment of teachers is specifically prohibited in this case. Therefore, I request this August House to adopt this private member bill and pass it so that the interest of the students are protected. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, Sri Dr. Bhushan Lal Jangal.
उपसभापति जी, चुनाव की जो प्रक्रिया है वह बहुत तादाद में हमारे कर्मचारियों की जरूरत पड़ता है, और जहां अधिक कर्मचारी हमारे शिक्षक बंधुओं की है और उन्हीं के माध्यम से ही चुनाव हो पाता है। यह शुरू से ही
यह अपने चुनाव के प्रक्रिया में जारी है। जब हमारा जब चुनाव हुआ उस समय पेटियां अलग अलग पेटियां रहती थी और उस समय अलग अलग पेटियों में वोट डालना पड़ता था। उस समय जो प्रक्रिया हमारे चली थी तो उसमें केवल शिक्षक बंधु ही उसमें सहयोग दे पाते थे। अन्य कर्मचारियों की कमी के कारण से केवल शिक्षकों को ही उसमें लगाया जाता था। परंतु धीरे धीरे परिवर्तन होते रहा है और मीडिया के कारण से या जो इस तरह से जो संचालन के कारण से बहुत सारे नए नए उपकरण आने लगे हैं। उसके कारण से कुछ दिनों के बाद जिस तरह से हमारे शिवा जी ने जो एक विधेयक अभी रखा है वह लागू हो सकता है, वो अभी नहीं हो सकता। उसका कारण है कि हमें शिक्षकों की जो तादाद है उसका हमको उपयोग करना जरूरी होता है। उसको यदि हम अलग कर दें तो आम नागरिक से ये चुनाव का प्रक्रिया नहीं हो सकता। और दूसरी बात, सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि इनको एक तरह से समय है इनके पास, शिक्षकों के पास। कर्मचारी अन्य कर्मचारियों का पूरा के पूरा 12 महीना उनका ड्यूटी रहता है। इनको कम से कम शिक्षकीय काम कुछ महीनों के लिए गैप रहता है। उस गैप में भी यदि चुनाव के प्रक्रिया यदि चले हाँ तो कोई आपत्ति नहीं होना चाहिए। और साथ ही साथ आज जो चुनाव का जो तरीका है धीरे धीरे परिवर्तन होने लगा है और उसके कारण से चुनाव के प्रक्रिया में यदि सुधार होने लगेगा हाँ तो निश्चित रूप से इनको भी शिक्षकों के से हमें चुनाव का हमें कार्य लेने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा, ऐसा मैं महसूस करता हूँ। आज जमाना दूसरे देशों का हम अनुकरण करते हैं। दूसरे देशों में इस तरह से आम नागरिक से भी चुनाव के प्रक्रिया करने का उनको मौका मिलता है। हमारे यहाँ इस तरह से केवल सरकारी कर्मचारी ही चुनाव करा सकते हैं और इसीलिए सरकारी कर्मचारियों के नाम से हमें शिक्षकों के से उपयोग करने के लिए हमें बाध्य होना पड़ता है। आज हमारा देश में बहुत सारे चीजों की सुधार होने की नौबत आई है और उस सुधार में मैं सोचता हूँ जो हमारा टेक्निकल अभी जितना आगे बढ़ रहा है हमारे देश में उसी तरह से भी हमें उस टेक्निकल का हमें लाभ मिलेगा भविष्य में, ऐसा मैं महसूस करता हूँ। और इसीलिए मेरा खुद का और अब मेरे हिसाब से हमारे देश के लिए अवस्था है कि केवल शिक्षकों के द्वारा ही हमारी चुनाव के प्रक्रिया हो सकेगी। इतने कहते हुए मैं अपनी बात समाप्त करता हूँ।
धन्यवाद। नाउ श्री शंकर भाई भागड़।
माननीय उपसभापति जी, पहले बैलेट पेपर से चुनाव होता था और बैलेट पेपर के चुनाव होने के बाद जब उसकी गिनती होती है तब 1 दिन 2 दिन 3 दिन तक ये काम चलता था। लेकिन हमारे चुनाव आयोग ने जब ये वोटिंग मशीन से चुनाव होने लगा से तब से सुबह से दोपहर तक तो रिजल्ट आ जाता है। तो पहले जो शिक्षक की जो समय बर्बाद होता था अब कम बर्बाद हो रहा है और शिक्षकों के कारण ये क्या होता है कि बात सही है भाई ये कुछ दिन छुट्टियों में बच्चों की पढ़ाई नहीं होती है, लेकिन पूरे विश्व में सबसे बड़ा ये लोकतांत्रिक देश है तो शिक्षकों का ये उपयोग अभी मेरे हिसाब से जरूर है। इसका एक ही इलाज है, समय बचाना है, टाइम बचाना है और हिंदुस्तान की धनराशि बचाना है। तो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने जो आह्वान किया है एक ही साथ चुनाव लोकसभा के और हर स्टेट के विधानसभा के चुनाव एक ही साथ हो जाए तो हिंदुस्तान के सभी कर्मचारियों का समय भी बचेगा और धनराशि भी बचेगी और अच्छी तरह से ये चुनाव हो सकता है। तो इसी तरह से मेरा ये कहना है कि अभी जो संशोधन में जो ये सुधार लाने की अभी कोई जरूरत नहीं है, इसलिए मैं उसको सपोर्ट नहीं करता हूँ। थैंक यू।
धन्यवाद। अब तो हो गया तो कोई है नहीं मिनिस्टर। मंत्री जी। Thank you very much, sir, for permitting me. The bill has moved by Mr. Tiruchi. This with respect to amendment of Article 324 of the Constitution of India, where he has suggested that the present provision may be substituted by the provision that the teachers should not be involved in the process of election, and the present provision in the Constitution, and he had suggested that the President or the Governor of a state shall, when so requested by the Election Commission, make available to the Election Commission or to a regional commissioner such staff, excluding school teacher, as may be necessary for discharge of the function. So what is suggested by Mr. Honorable Member is that the school teachers should be excluded from participating in the process of election. And in the statement of reason and objection, the Supreme Court judgment has also been cited, and apart from it, it is stated that as per Article 21 of the Constitution of India, the education is a fundamental right of the children, and the education of the children is being affected. Therefore, the teacher should not be deployed in the process of election. And the provision of the Act of 2009 was also, the reference of that provision was also made of Section 27 of the Act of 2009. Now, sir, apart from this, the reason and object, whereas the Supreme Court judgment has been cited, reference of the Supreme Court judgment has been made, but it has not been made the other direction of the Supreme Court. Only the Supreme Court direction with respect to that teacher should not be employed in the process of election, but the other direction that the teacher can employ in the process of election on the non-teaching hours when holidays are there, that reference has not been made in the statement of reason and object. Sir, as per Article 159 of the Representation of the People Act, it is provided specifically. So there is no, this bill has been moved for amendment of the article, this section 150, section 159 of the Representation of the People Act 1951. In that section, the provision has been made that the Election Commission can requisition any staff, and it includes teachers, government servants, and the various authorities from the various departments, because it is clearly mentioned under this provision. Kindly see this Representation of the People Act, where the provision has been made that not only the teachers, but the Election Commission can also requisition from the staff from the local authorities, staff from the universities, staff from the government company as defined under the Companies Act, and any other institution, concern or undertaking of the government. So not only the teachers from various streams and from various authorities, the staffs are being requisitioned for conducting the election, and for this purpose no such amendment has been moved, and this is a requirement of the law. Under the institute, the Election Commission can requisition the teachers and other staff from various other institutions. Now, so far as Article 21 is concerned, sir, 21A of the Constitution of the concern, it speaks about the fundamental right of education. But no way the education, fundamental right of education is being interfered of the students. And as far as Article Section 27 of the Act of 2009 is concerned, it specifically provides that the services of the teachers can be taken. Although this Act of 2009 came into effect after the Supreme Court judgment, but under this provision, the specific provision has been made that the services of the teachers can be taken. It provides Section 27 of the Act of 2009, provision of deployment of teachers for non-educational purposes. No teacher shall be deployed by any non-educational purposes other than decennial population census, disaster relief duties, or duties relating to election to local authority or the state legislature or parliament, as the case may be.
This is the RPI.
Yes. Right to Education Act. So even under the Right to Education Act, where the fundamental right of education has been prescribed, the provision has been made by the parliament that the services of the teachers can be requisitioned for the purpose of election, for the purpose of election of the state legislature, for the purpose of election of the parliament, and the election of the other local authorities and bodies. Therefore, the specific provision is there. So apart from the Article 324 of the Constitution of India,
The provision is also there under Article 159 of the Representation of the People Act. The provision is also there under Section 27 of the Right to Education Act. But no such suggestion has been made by the honourable member that the amendment should also be carried out on these provisions, and these are the institute in force. So this provision was made under Section 27 after the Supreme Court judgment, and it specifically provides that the services of the teachers can be requisitioned, the teachers can be deployed in the process of election. Now, sir, coming to the Supreme Court judgment, there is no blanket order which has been suggested by the honourable member. The honourable member has suggested as if the Supreme Court has directed that deployment of teacher is prohibited.
No, honourable member said that is an observation of the Supreme Court.
Yes, sir. Now kindly see the observation of the Supreme Court. This final act in para 32, we would however notice that the Election Commission before us also categorically stated that as far as possible teacher would be put in electoral roll division works on holidays, non-teaching days, non-teaching hours, whereas non-teaching staff be put on duty anytime. We therefore direct that all the teaching staff shall be put on the duties of roll revisions and election works on holidays and non-teaching days. Teachers should not ordinarily be put on duty on teaching days and within teaching hours. So in pursuance of this, the Election Commission has time to time also issued the orders way back in 2008, making it clear to all the concerns, and whereby it is made clear to the respective authorities that the teachers should not be deployed in view of the Supreme Court judgment, and the order was issued by the Election Commission on 28th of January 2008. I am reading, sir, quote, as of now, a holiday is declared on poll day. The Commission desired that if the day of dispatch, the day of the most of the polling party are dispatched happen to be the teaching day for the schools, then the day should also be declared a local holiday for schools wherever necessary. The Commission further direct that whether teachers are appointed as a presiding officer and other polling officer, the training session for them shall be conducted as far as practical on holidays. So these are the orders. Not only one order, there are so many other orders were also issued. The order was also issued. So in considering the situation, in view of the order of the Honorable Supreme Court, the Election Commission has directed the following. Whenever the teaching staff is put on duties of the poll roll division, the DOs, EROs shall prescribe holiday and non-teaching days and non-teaching hours as the duty period of this work. Such appointees may be asked to our teaching hours and for undertaking roll division work during roll division wherever the teachers are appointed as designated officer to make. So it is clear that even the Election Commission has taken the precaution, and the bill moved by my honourable member is devoid of any force and is lack merit, because question is when in pursuant to the decision of the Honourable Supreme Court, the Election Commission has issued the necessary orders, and those orders are being followed. So apart from this, sir, now looking all these things aside, we have to see the Article 51 of the Constitution of India, which specifically provides the fundamental duties.
51 capital A.
Yes, sir. Now, sir, 51 capital A, fundamental duties, it shall be the duty of every citizen of India. D is relevant to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. Now, the election is basically a sovereign function, and it can't be conducted through the staff outsourced from various agencies or the private people, because it is a question of accountability, and it is a national service, and participation in democratic process is a national duty. So in the Constitution itself, and after reading the Constitution, it is clear that it is a fundamental, not only a fundamental duty, but it is under the preamble of the Constitution, the process of democracy is one of the preamble and basic foundation of the Constitution of India. Sir, apart from these provisions of the Constitution and apart from this statutory provision, the democracy in our country is basically, whenever the elections are held, it is just like a celebration. So, it is not only this democracy in our country, as per our Constitution, is a basic structure, and it is above fundamental right. In case of conflict between fundamental right and basic structure of the Constitution, then the basic structure will have a overriding effect. So the democracy is since the preamble of the Constitution of India and the basic structure. And not only this, not only our students, but even the foreign universities, foreign students, they visit India looking, see that this is one of the biggest democracy in the world, how elections are conducted, and in months together they stay here and they study the election. So it is basically education. It is not a wastage. So in other words, it is wrong to say that it is a wastage of the teachers' time and wastage of the teaching hours. And to my mind, not only the teachers, there must be a participation of the students in the process of election. So the necessary amendment, I suggest Mr. Tiruchi, so you should move a bill for making it provision that not only the teachers, students should also participate in the process of democracy, because it is a cardinal principle of the Constitution of India and the preamble of the Constitution of India. So, sir,
Unbecoming of a minister.
So, sir, now when we talk about the education, now we are in digital world. The technology is expanding so. So now, sir, in a democracy like this, where we can provide the education, and time is not far away, we can have a 3D animation form of education all over the country in all schools. Almost 4 lakh schools are there in the senior secondary schools are there in all over the country. So the need of the teachers will be less. So the participation of the teachers should be there in the election process. Participation of the students should be there in the election process, so they can learn. And it is a part of also part of the education. We can't say that it is not a part of the education. Democracy, to learn about the strength of the democracy of the country, it is a part of the democratic process. And it has also been cited that the paucity of the teachers are there. To my, I came to know that the matter is pending before the Supreme Court on the question of the paucity of the teacher. So on that count, I would not like to comment that, and it is not within the domain of our ministry. So I have already said that the process of the election is a democratic process and it is a sovereign function. We can't outsource the staff from various private bodies. It is to be conducted by the employees who are accountable, who are responsible. So not only the participation of the teachers, I have already referred under section 159 of the Representation of People Act 1959, that not only teachers, we are taking the staff from, Election Commission is taking the staff from various government departments, and not only the government department, but local authorities and other authorities also, even the government companies also. So it is also one of the functions of the government that the conduct of the free and fair election, and for this purpose, because we need large number of employees to conduct the election. And in rural area of the country, where in every part of the country, only the schools, where the employees are spread all over the country, and they are better equipped to participate and conduct the fair and proper election. Therefore, participation of the teacher and the participation of the student should be made mandatory for a healthy democratic process. And it is an experience which is gained by the teacher. It is an experience which can be gained by the student. And if the participation of students is not there, then the participation of the teacher can be there, and those experience gained by the teacher can be taught in the schools to the students for the how our democracy is functioning. And looking to the number of booths, now approximately 10 lakhs polling booths are there in the country. At approximately 8 lakhs polling personnel are being employed. Therefore, the teachers alone are not enough. So, from the various streams, the Election Commission is requisition. Requisitions are being sent by the Election Commission for conduct of the election. And that's why, sir, so our Honorable Prime Minister has suggested that there must be a deliberation on the issue for conduct of the simultaneous election of the Parliament, Lok Sabha, and the state legislature. So I also thank all the members who have participated, like Vipulov Thakur, Ganeshan, Honorable Ganeshan. He has also suggested use of technology for the education. Vigila Satyan, K.V. Ramchandran Rao, Anand Bhaskar, and A. Navneet Krishna, Shankar Bhai Bhagat. So, sir, I request Mr. Tiruchi kindly withdraw his bill. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman, I think actually I was in a mood to withdraw the bill after having heard the minister's reply. But actually his reply was not convincing to me. He spoke as a law minister and not as a people's representative. He should represent all sections of the society. When the minister of the HRD has gone out to say that, to find out a solution so that teachers are not occupied in such non-academic work which adversely affects the education of children, the law minister is speaking controversy. Two ministers in the same government are contradicting themselves. Sir, my intention to move this bill was with the concern of on two sections. One is the student community and the other is the teacher community. The students are deprived of having more education for the absenteeism of the school teachers. Already I said, sir, in my introductory speech, I think the Honorable Law Minister was not here then. There are 9 lakh posts are vacant in this country. And even in his own state, he knows very well, not less than 1 lakh. In UP and all, I have cited the statistics also. I don't want to repeat that. So when already there are vacancies, even the teachers who are now employed or deployed for non-educational duties means, I don't disagree with you that everyone should have a responsibility in conducting elections, in holding the election, or to be a part of that. But who you are deploying, in what type of job they are involved in? So for example, I would say that in Tamil Nadu, when we were the ruling party, and when our leader, Dr. Kalaignar, was the chief minister, he engaged only lady teachers up to the level of 5th standard. You know, because only they can know how to deal with the students of that age. So students need more attention of the teachers, and for a future citizen, as I rightly pointed out at the very beginning itself, the quality of a nation depends upon its citizens. The citizens' quality is determined in a way, at least by way of education, and the education is undoubtedly determined by the quality of the teachers. See, you are suggesting that they can be used during holidays. So the teachers don't have rest at all. Whole day they will be at school, teaching the students, taking too much of pain. The students of different ages, of the different temperament, and they have got their own family also. At the same time, you will also deploy them for non-educational duties means. So the teachers are not at all considered with some concern. So the minister, I think, his intention, he spoke with a closed mind that he was not even able to convince me or say that it will be considered, since another minister who is related with the teachers and the students, let me complete. He has said that. And I am glad that some people got themselves committed, they are against the teachers community. Sir, the agony and the pain which the teachers are undergoing when they are deployed for election duty, only they know. I think if opportunity warrants, some of the people would have listened to this debate. See, I have nothing personal with this, but a section of the society who was responsible for the future generation, upcoming, to bring them up. When they are in distress, when they are undergoing mental strain, they are not able to take care of their family. The whole day they will be in the school. And during, let me complete. Let me complete. No, please. I'm not. I was in a very, very simple mood. I was just to conclude.
Please continue.
When they spend the whole of the day at school with the students, teaching them, preparing themselves also. When they go to the school next day for the school next day, they have to prepare themselves, what to teach, how to teach. Other than the academic syllabus, they also have to teach them the value of life, the moral values of life, ethics of life. All these responsibilities are vested with the teachers, and they have got their own family, whereas you will deploy them even during holidays for election or non-academic duties means, I think there is no concern for the teacher community. So in that respect, you could at least consider what I suggested in USA and in Australia, they have some volunteer program. When I said that some people who can offer themselves to work for election duty, some apprehensions were raised even by my esteemed colleague, Mr. Ella Ganesan, that they are not accountable. Who is accountable? Who is not accountable? No one can be assured of. Everyone will be inclined to some political party or other. A judge in the court who is expected to be impartial, he also goes to the polling pool to vote. It doesn't mean that the party to which he is voting is associated with that. In a democratic country, every person has got a right to vote, and that doesn't mean that they are inclined to that. So the youth community, whom I said the unemployed youth could be deployed for election duty after giving some proper training. The retired teachers, when you are re-recruiting teachers for teaching in the universities, why don't you recruit them for appoint them as electoral officers? So I suggested some other alternates. You can find some other. If that doesn't work, or if you have some apprehension, or if you are doubtful about the sincerity and credibility of the youth community who are unemployed, they are going to become police officers, they are going to become teachers, and they are going to occupy many other positions. They are going to come here as lawmakers. And how can I doubt them that they go to polling booth, they will have some inclination? No. We cannot distrust anyone, and we cannot undermine the sincerity or credibility of anyone. So I suggested, my basic intention is one, that teachers must be relieved of this. Lady teachers, who go to the election booth they will be in a remote corner, the polling booth somewhere, where there will be no commodity. They don't have any traveling facility. They will engage someone, go there, and where to stay at night, and who will take care of them, who will provide them food. And those lady teachers, they don't have any place to, even in the remotest village. In Bihar, I think my Honorable Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad will agree to some polling booths, even that polling boxes are taken by way of boats. They don't have roads even. In such places, if some teachers are deployed, what are the pains they undergo? Why don't we realize that? First of all, a politician or a lawmaker should have a human approach. Then only law, then only everything else. When you are citing Supreme Court and some people are telling that this amendment is not necessary, I am happy that you confirm yourself that you are against the teacher community. You don't have any soft corner towards them. I quoted again. Supreme Court has rightly observed, see, holding of an election is no doubt of paramount importance, but the education of children cannot be neglected for this purpose. With an advent of technology, the requisitioning of a large number of people may not be necessary. We notice that the Election Commission has different roles to play. The Election Commission, in our opinion, can formulate an effective scheme to see that the services of a large number of teachers is not required. The state of primary education in India is in a deplorable condition. There's a heavy dropout from the schools, particularly from amongst the schools. Sir, the law or the judiciary looks at issues on the lines of law. But we who are here as Democrats, representatives of people, should have an outlook of the people's issue in a different manner. That should be human. We should have a concern for the poor, for the needy, who are suffering. In that respect, so many teachers have represented to us. Some who have been teachers and now who are not teachers may not realize the pain or would have forgotten the pain. But those who are employed now have come to us and they have cried to me literally. That only prompted me to bring this bill. He says why he has not brought a bill to amend the representative. That follows simultaneously, my dear Minister. Even the constitution is undergoing so many changes. We are amending the constitution, which has been discussed at length for more than 3 years extensively here in this Constituent Assembly, which is the supremest, which is the superior one which we consider in the world, is still undergoing for amendments. And you expect a private member bill to bring in all amendments. Does your law or bills you are bringing completely do everything off? Your act is again and again relooked. They are amended. So many things are being done. When you say 2009 RP Act, what was the previous act? Why did you bring the 2009 Act? And what does the RT Act says? So I cannot in a single bill provide that RT Act must be amended, RP Act must be amended, Constitution must be amended. That is not my job. My intention is to convey through this House or to create an awakening in the mind of the government. Kindly consider and realize the pains and agony the teachers are undergoing in this country because of their being deployed for election duties or non-academic duties. When he says post office, they are also engaged in some other thing. But teachers, what is the job they are doing? They are dealing with the children. They are teaching them. They are preparing. They are rather making them for the future generation, for the future country. And that big responsibility they are holding, don't deprive them of this responsibility. Don't make them to go under mental strain. So in that situation only I said, this amendment is necessary. I am very thankful, sir, for the discussion and so many members who have contributed to this, supporting this. The minister's reply didn't even intend considering this. And some people, they have a conviction that whatever I bring, they should oppose. Wherever in our state, if the state government is bringing in some legislation which is necessary for the people, we support it. That the party doesn't come in between. Only, please, I am not. But here it is a convention. But in a way, sir, in a way, I am happy that they have committed. That they have committed themselves, that they are against the teacher communities, consider the pains they are undergoing.
No.
Sir, I am not yielding, sir. I am not yielding. I am not yielding.
Please sit down, please sit down.
The floor is meant for me.
No, please sit down.
The floor is not meant for me.
Don't interrupt. Please don't
It is
interrupt.
deliberately done.
No, please
I am
don't.
very happy that they are exposed today again.
No, this is not fair.
That they are against a section of a society. Just because of opposing that a bill has been moved by a person from a party of their opposition, they have exposed, they are exposed, they have committed themselves.
Okay, please. Bob made your point. Made your point. Okay, please sit
So
down.
everything is on record. And it was registered here that this amendment is not necessary.
Please sit down. No, please
Sir,
sit down.
sorry, I don't want to be interrupted.
Please sit down. Please
This has
sit
become,
down.
this is what I said. This is what I said.
Let him complete.
Whatever
Let
we
him
do,
complete. No.
this is not.
No, don't divert the issue. Don't divert the issue. Please. No.
But why?
No. He has
I
not,
also never interrupted.
No, he has not mentioned anybody.
I never interrupted.
He has not mentioned anybody, no.
No, I
he has
never
not
pointed out
named him.
anybody in
He has
particular.
not named any party.
Sir, I didn't say anyone in particular. Why they should, the cat is out of the bag. The cat
Mr.
is
Shiva.
out of the bag.
Mr. Shiva.
I didn't point out anyone, sir.
How will the election commission?
Sir, I must be allowed to speak.
Please allow him. No, please allow him. Okay.
Everyone
Mr.
is
Shiva.
concerned about
No,
election
Mr. Shiva,
process.
address the chair.
Who is
Address-
not?
Mr.
Sir, I say we are concerned about this democratic country. Holding elections is a mandatory one. And I say again, I submit to the minister. The people's responsibility is to get involved themselves, that they are contributing towards democracy, not by way of casting a vote. They can say that we are contributing to democracy. They should volunteer themselves by coming and working for the elections, helping to the government or helping to the election commission. Why? Everyone has got a responsibility. When you are citing Article 51A, capital A, fundamental duties, what does it say? It says also that the parents have a responsibility to impart education to their children between 6 to 14. And when they are concerned about the education of the children, when you are concerned in a part of an article, I am concerned about the other thing. That is also a fundamental duty. And when they are deprived of education because they are absent of teachers in the school, what will the parent do? So, sir, my bill's intention was simply based on two things. I am concerned about the future of the posterity. The younger generation should be fruitful citizens There should be examples, and our country is thickly populated with youth community. And so also the teachers undergoing the pain. I am very sorry. Some people who have opposed, I don't mind that they have difference of views, because this is a forum which has got different of views. Its debate is always that. Not everything could be for. There could be against. But at least they should realize how it is to be done. The same thing, at the same time, they should have an outlook who are all undergoing trouble. It has to be done in a different manner. Technology is improving. There are so many people to offer themselves to take up the same duty. You consider some other sources. When I say volunteers, unemployed youth or retired teachers, you can say that if you are not happy with that after an experiment, you find some other alternative, but you cannot outrightly reject that this amendment is not needed. Only teachers should be committed. The students should also come to election duty. What, Mr. I don't understand. Students should not get involved in politics. It's a concern of even political parties. They should know politics. But if they get into politics, their future will be at stake. So the teachers, what to be expected of the teachers is basically to teach the children, to shape the future country. In that situation, sir, I brought this bill. If I get a solid assurance from the minister, I will withdraw, or else I move the bill for passing, sir.
Sir, one thing. Sir,
Minister.
Sir, whatever my honorable member Mr. Tiruchi Shiva has said, this Supreme Court judgment, the Supreme Court passed the direction in 2007, and in compliance with that direction, that the teachers should not be engaged during the working hour or teaching hours. So only in pursuant to those directions, the Election Commission has passed the order on 28th of January 2008, and thereafter, the Parliament has enacted the Act of 2009, Right to Education Act, whereas the participation of the teachers, the specific provision has been made under Section 27. So whatever honorable member Mr. Tiruchi Siva says, that has only been, compliance has only been made to large extent, and in view of that, the services of the teachers are only being utilized on holidays, non-teaching hours, and because the other staff in the country is not enough to conduct the election, such a massive election of such a big country, where one of the biggest democratic country where the elections are being held, so where the lacks of polling booth, so even if we use all the staffs, so not only the teachers, what we are saying, we are not only using the teachers, we are using the other government servants, we are using the servants from the local authorities, we are using the service even from the companies. So everywhere, so far the teachers are concerned, they are spread all over the country in rural areas. So that's why is a democracy is also basic structure of the constitution to strengthen it, to conduct the free and fair election. Those services of the teachers are being required. Otherwise, so in view of the Supreme Court judgment, the services of the teachers are being utilized only during the holidays, and they are not being utilized, and strict compliance is being. So that's why again I request the Honorable Tiruchi Siva to kindly withdraw it. And even our Honorable Prime Minister has.
Mr. Lobbyist.
My Honorable Prime Minister has the electoral reform is in the pipeline, and whatever the suggestion Honorable Member has given, we will take into consideration because everything is in the pipeline. Thank you very much.
Mr. Lobbyist.
I'm very grateful that you have given me the floor, though the Honorable MOS has done a very good job. Sir, I know Honorable Member Shiva for a long time. He's a distinguished friend and colleague. He has articulated a very serious concern. And I do appreciate his concern that teachers must be put to the maximum use for teaching the students only. And that point is fairly well taken. I don't want to go into the judgment also. The judgment also says, Honorable Deputy Chairperson's very wide knowledge, ordinarily they should not be put on working days. So it is a wish of the Supreme Court. But since he has articulated this concern, and in view of the mandate of Article 324, Honorable the Deputy Chairperson is very much aware, the entire domain of the Election Commission. I wish to assure Honorable Member Shiva that these concerns shall be conveyed to the Election Commission. That is what we will do, that a serious issue arose here, and Election Commission should do the best while upholding the majesty of free and fair election. Please ensure that students, teachers are not unnecessarily disturbed, or because kindly appreciate, Honorable Chairperson, whenever exams are there, elections are normally not held during that time to disturb it. In all the states of India, including in your state. So those care we do take ourselves. But a specific issue has been raised. We will convey this very serious concern to the Commission, and I hope Commission will take proactive measures. Our government, the Prime Minister, all of us, the entire House is concerned that we need to further improve the electoral system. A lot of things are in the pipeline, and there will be all-party discussion also. And in fact, on behalf of the government, I will tell my officers to convey to the Election Commission that whenever there is any all-party meeting with regard to electoral reforms, maybe Honorable Member Shiva's views should also be conveyed there as to what is the all-party consensus on that. With these kinds of assurances which I am giving to you, I would request you to kindly withdraw.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sir, this is what is expected of a minister.
Fair enough.
And as again MOS suggested, sir, nothing is static in this world.
Yes.
Even the Constitution, there is a view that it has to be relooked. If the Supreme Court gives a judgment, we enact a law superseding that judgment. So we have got powers. So you cannot cite a Supreme Court judgment and say that we should stop at it. You cannot cite an earlier act and say that we should stop at it. We are always with an open mind, should relook into the views, and as to the existing situation, we have to amend our laws. That's how the evolution of law has come. And thanks to my very good friend, sir, I take the privilege of calling him as my very good friend for more than 2 decades, Honorable Minister, legal luminary. He has rightly given me the assurance that I just want to, I know very well that the bill cannot be immediately bring in so many revolutions or changes, that to a private member bill. I just want to convey the sentiments, the pains which the people of the teacher community are facing. As a representative of the people, I have conveyed it rightly. I think so many members have also participated in that. Taking his assurance into confidence, sir, I withdraw the bill. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, no, it has already come to an end with a happy note. Thank you. So now, since the bill is withdrawn, now I going to another bill. The Women Equal Participation in Decision Making Bill 2015. Sri Anubhav Mohanty. Absent, sir. But he is absent. So now I have turned to another bill. 5 बजे तक चलेगा ना House 5 बजे तक चलेगा. So I am now move to another bill, the Declaration of Countries as Sponsor of Terrorism Bill 2016, Sri Rajiv Chandrasekhar.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you for allowing this bill to be debated. Sir, on 18 September 2016, there was a terror attack in Uri and 19 lives were lost. And this was one more incident in a series of incidents that this country has seen. And those were lives in a series of lives that India has lost over the many decades that it has confronted terrorism. Sir, but for me it marked a turning point, at least in my mind, and I publicly promised that I would take on the important responsibility of calling Pakistan for what they are and what they have always been, a state sponsor of terrorism. That is why, sir, in the winter session of Parliament, I submitted a resolution. I submitted a resolution declaring Pakistan a terror state, and I also moved a private member's bill, which is the bill that has come up today for discussion and consideration, to call out states like Pakistan that continue to associate, promote, patronize and sponsor terrorism against our nation. Sir, I also wrote to all political party leaders to support this resolution, but sir, regrettably the resolution wasn't taken up, but the bill was introduced in the winter session, and therefore I'm very happy today to have this discussion commenced. Sir, why this bill? So many have told me this is like another private bill, private member's bill, it will not see the light of the day, etc., etc. But sir, as I have seen from my colleague Tiruchi Shiva's bills like this have a purpose. They start a discussion and a conversation in this house that will perhaps not ebb. and give people of India a conversation on, or start a conversation on what should be really our relationship with Pakistan, given that there is incontrovertible evidence that they support terrorism. So for decades, India and other countries in the region have been victims of numerous terror attacks from organizations and individuals based in and with the support of elements in Pakistan. Yet for decades we have remained engaged with Pakistan in an attempt to draw it into the mainstream. Sir, there is a basic tenet in criminality, which you, sir, as a lawyer will recognize. Basic tenet of criminality and criminal conduct is that if criminals are not declared criminals and made to bear the consequences of their criminal actions, they will continue to be criminals. And that, sir, I am not a lawyer, but I extend this hypothesis and this thesis that it is true for also countries that aid and abet terrorism and use terrorism as a misguided tool of their state policy. So if they're brought to account, if they're not brought to account, they will continue to violate all established laws and conduct. So this bill, therefore, sir, is to finally put into motion the process of calling terror sponsors to account. For years of terror sponsorship and for causing losses of innocent lives, not just in India, but in the region around us, in other parts of the region and the world, sir. So there is another important reason. The world is getting tired and has lost patience with rogue nations. Nations that don't conform to global standards of civilized conduct and compliance with law, as state sponsors of terrorism are. And as world opinion consolidates around the conduct of some countries, like Pakistan, the focus will naturally come on what India and the Indian Parliament's approach to this threat is. And it's, sir, I humbly state that it cannot be our case as Parliament and as a country that the world declare and treat Pakistan as a terror sponsor while all we have done is a 1994 parliamentary resolution. And I, sir, state humbly that it is time that we stopped running to other countries to declare Pakistan a terror state and stood up and did this job ourselves. Sir, what is Pakistan's record? There is not one man or woman in this country, sir, that does not recognize its direct role in fostering terrorism against India, and not just for the last few years, but for several decades. Not one man or woman of this country does not want Pakistan to be held to account. Pakistan's history and track record of fostering terrorism, sir, and terrorists is long and indeed distinguishable and incontrovertible. For example, sir, the year 2016, the year that has just gone past, began with a terror attack in Pathankot on 2nd January in which 7 lost their lives. This was followed by a series of attacks in Gurdaspur, Machil, Pampur, Uri and Nagrota, to name just a few. 2016, sir, the year itself ended with an attack in Pampur. In all, we lost 87 lives and a loss of, and 165 militants were killed in 2016. How can we as Parliament, sir, forget 13 December 2001, when this very Parliament, the temple of our democracy, was attacked by Pakistan-based terrorists, killing as many as 15 people and injuring at least 20 people before our security forces gunned them down? How can we forget 26/11/2008, the Mumbai terror attacks, as the world watched in horror on television screens as Pakistan-based terrorists created a bloodbath in a series of 12 coordinated shooting and bombing attacks that lasted 4 days, killing 164 and wounding over 300 people. Sir, despite overwhelming evidence, including from captured terrorists Kasab and David Headley, pointing to Pakistan, that country continues to do nothing about prosecuting those responsible, confirming and reconfirming its deep involvement as a state that supports these attacks. Sir, the irony is, despite undeniable evidence, incontrovertible evidence, and widespread desire of the people of India, we have continued to engage Pakistan diplomatically, culturally, and economically, in a meaningless engagement, in my opinion, sir, that serves only one purpose: for time to pass and memories to fade about the last terror attack. These meaningless dialogues have exposed one fundamental reality, sir, that the Pakistani state will not do anything unless they are coerced or pressured to do so. It is a fact, sir, and we all can recognize it, and we all must recognize it, that it is only the Kargil bloody nose on Pakistan, the 97th bloody nose on Pakistan, that was when Pakistan turned responsive. Sir, according to data from 1998 to 29 January 2017, 14,741 civilians have been killed in terror attacks in this country. 6,274 security force personnel have lost their lives. And we have killed 23,146 terrorists. On 22 January 1994, sir, we in this very house unanimously adopted a resolution condemning, and I quote, strongly the continued support and encouragement Pakistan is extending to subversive and terrorist activities in the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir, end quote. Stopping short of a stronger resolution to send a message to not only Pakistan, but also the rest of the world that we will not take Pakistan-sponsored terrorism as business as usual. We stopped short, sir. Sir, until now, successive governments, except for Indira Gandhi's 97 defeat of Pakistan in Bangladesh and Atal Bihari Vajpayee's crushing of Pakistan in Kargil, have done very little and have continued to have meaningless debates and keep running to major powers to pressure Pakistan. It is for the first time with this government that we have demonstrated military resolve and use of the army with a surgical strike. But sir, there is more that we can do and must do by using our diplomatic, legal and economic strengths. Our basket of options to bring Pakistan to book must be expanded to beyond the military, which is precisely, sir, why I have introduced this bill. To use economic, trade, sports, cultural sanctions with Pakistan to review and repeal the most favored nation status given by India to Pakistan, and to review the Indus Water Treaty, and to further, sir, punish those who aid and abet Pakistan. Sir, let me just describe the bill in a few sentences, sir. The bill, sir, is to declare any country. This is a format that will help India and the Parliament and the government declare any government, any state that sponsors terrorism against India. Whilst we recognize Pakistan as our principal aider and abetter of terrorism, this bill can apply in future to also other countries that directly or indirectly aid terror attacks against India. I will not mention the names, sir, but we have a fair understanding of which the other countries are. So this bill in section 2B defines what a state sponsor of terrorism is. It is any country which, through its instrumentalities or retired officials or through deliberate negligence, provides support to terrorist acts directly or indirectly. So this bill defines terrorist act. So it defines in 2B the state sponsor of terrorism, and in 2C it defines terrorist act. Sir, as one of the principal victims of terrorism for many, many decades, we can set the basis of defining what a terror act is, even while the United Nations still struggles to define terrorism. It is one of the ironies of this, the contemporary age, sir, that the United Nations even today struggles with declaring Hafiz Saeed a terrorist because they are quibbling about the definition of terrorist act. So this act defines under 2C what a terrorist act is. And sir, through the following clauses, it lays out in very clear form what the economic and other consequences are that will be applicable to a state sponsor of terrorism that aids, abets directly, indirectly the indirect terrorist act. So, sir, for example, it talks about heads of states being, of state sponsors of terrorism being prohibited to travel to and from India. It talks about business entities that are linked to the state sponsor of terrorism being sanctioned against conducting trade, investment, or any form of other economic and commercial activity with any entity or the state, the country of India. It talks about overflight restrictions for entities that are linked to the state sponsor of terrorism. it talks about coastal regulation, prohibitions for entities that are linked to the state sponsor of terrorism. So, sir, let me, I will conclude, sir. I mean, I can go on and on about this, but I believe, sir, that the government and the parliament must act now. The winds of change are blowing in the world against terrorism and terror sponsors. This is obvious, sir, and was obvious in the universal condemnation of Pakistan during the Uri terror attacks. And, sir, in a sense, it is a little ironical also that we have not, as a parliament, done anything more than the 1994 resolution, because in September 2016, US Congress introduced a bill. Senator Ted Poe and Congressman Dana Rohrabacher introduced a bill called, the titles are Pakistan State Sponsor of Terrorism Designated Act. They were quite clear, they actually included the name Pakistan in the name of the bill. I am actually trying to be much broader and say this is not directed at Pakistan, but it's a declaration of state sponsors of terrorism. And sir, Senator Poe introducing the bill stated, and I quote, "Not only is Pakistan an untrustworthy ally, Islamabad has also aided and abetted enemies of the United States for years. From harboring Osama bin Laden to its cozy relationship with the Haqqani network, there is more than enough evidence to determine whose side Pakistan is on in the war of terror, and it is not America's." Sir, end quote. If you just take the word America out of that quote and you insert India, that quote holds good for us. And so therefore, sir, it is ironical, and I repeat this, that while the US Congress, a nation that is miles away from Pakistan, it has introduced a bill and is debating a bill or has debated a bill, our parliament has done very little since 1994. And I go on to quote one more quote from the same gentleman, sir. He states, and I quote, "Pakistan's reckless behavior in this regard is a serious security risk to its neighbors, and India unfortunately pays the price all too often. Not only is Pakistan an untrustworthy ally, Islamabad has also aided and abetted enemies for years." So, sir, let me end by saying, sir, the terror attacks on India has not just caused life, it has caused significant economic loss to us. On one hand, our businesses bleed due to Pakistan-sponsored terror, yet on the other hand, we have continued to grant Pakistan the most favored nation without the same being granted to us reciprocally. Pakistan poses a continual risk to the peace, security and stability of the region, harboring terrorists and funding terror outfits that have orchestrated terrorism the world over. So, in addition to its diplomatic and military options, sir, India can and should use its economic and trade strength to send out a strong and firm message that we intend to change the relationship with Pakistan into where Pakistan is a more responsible and accountable neighbor. There is no justification in the world, sir, that allows a nation or group to perpetrate violent crime against innocent people. With this bill, sir, we in Parliament can reflect the will of our people. Because there is not a man or woman, as I said earlier, sir, in this country who does not want this, that Pakistan be declared a state that sponsors terrorism. Sir, it is time we define what national interest means, because as we are seeing, the rest of the world is doing to protect their nation, what they are doing to protect their nations and their own people. I appeal to the House, sir, and all my colleagues here to start a discussion around this bill, to signal internally and externally to the depth of our national resolve that there will be no more half measures when it comes to protecting India and its people from terrorism, sir. Thank you, sir. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Motion moved. Now, Sri Anand Bhaskar Rapallu. But your time will be up to 5 o'clock only.
माननीय सह सभापति महोदय, सम्मानीय स्वतंत्र सदस्य, दिखने के लिए स्वतंत्र दिखता है मगर सत्ताधारी से बहुत जुड़े हुई है। मेरा भाई राजू चंद्रशेखर ये प्राइवेट रूप में लाए सो ये बिल के ऊपर चर्चा के दौरान मेरा सोच जा रहा है कि कहां गए वो दिन हम सोचते थे चाय पे चर्चा के लिए कराची तक जा सकते हैं, पाया पाने के लिए पेशावर तक जा सकते हैं। 2014 के बाद माहौल इतना बदलने वाले हैं कि अगल बगल में हमेशा शरीफ और मोदी बैठने वाले हैं। What has exactly happened in between? With this such, I am looking towards the initiative of my esteemed friend Raju Chandrasekhar ji. Our people, in particular the younger generation, during the sports events and the cultural events, expressing their view and making us to follow what to do and what not to do, how to behave with a neighbor, how to stand, put forth our view, and how to stand up. Since the present government could not withstand and stand up, the exigencies of bilateral relations and the cross-border terrorism, though being very closely allied with ruling dispensation, the independent member Raju Chandrasekhar had to go for a resolution first and now to come with a private bill to debate on this sensitive issue. How we have invited the investigators, those just they are covered as investigators from the borders, to come over here and have the luxury of VVIP movement into our classified and restricted areas. I belong to such party which is known for its sacrifices. How Indira Gandhi sacrificed, how she stood for, and what she achieved. And what was the achievement by my leader, late Rajiv Gandhi. How we used to have the India as the great idea of this subcontinent, and where exactly it is standing now. These are all coming to my mind while thinking about you, my friend Raju Chandrasekhar ji. Yes, your concern, I appreciate you have made out a detailed study and come out with 10 clauses. A great detailed bill. This can be very seriously taken into the government for further pursuance. But why this has occurred? Why this is happening? With the unnecessarily futile exercises which are not at all diplomatic, which are just by the novice, which won't take the expert view and the guidance from the rightful people, this type of decline in the bilateral relations have occurred. This has prompted what is happening in the Pak-occupied Kashmir, how we are looking towards that, what are the concerns of the people there living, what is happening in the Balochistan, how we are responding to those things. But just a lip sympathy is not going to serve in any way. These things have to be taken. The son of Gujarat, who used to speak about his sensitive locations, who knows how sensitive the Kutch, the Ran of Kutch, how he used to provoke the then government by us to challenging with his 15-inch, 56 का कहां गए वो चाती कहां गए? हम सोच में गिर पड़ रहे हैं और साधना में और दिखाने में और करने में हर चीज में गिरते गिरते आ रहे हैं। इसीलिए ये बिल आए हैं। Respected Vice Chairman, this is a point of highlight. This is an occasion for the union government to take note of the sensitivity and the drowning morale.
Already Deputy Chairman has stated that this bill will be discussed till 5 o'clock and the House will remain adjourned after that. But we have certain other small businesses. Now this bill will automatically shall be carried over as and when business of the House shall permit, it will be taken up. Now, statement by the Honorable Minister, Sri Mansukh Lal Mandavia, to make a statement on the action taken in the aftermath of the collision of two vessels of the Kamarajar Harbour, which occurred on the 28th of January 2017.
Vice Chairman, sir, with your permission, I rise to make the statement on the actions taken in the aftermath of the ship collisions which took place of the Kamarajar Harbours. Two vessels, namely MT BW Maples and MT Down Kanchipuram, while crossing each other, collided at 3:45 a.m. on 28th January 2017 of the Kamarajar Harbours. The vessels MT Down Kanchipuram, which was carrying 32,813 tons of POL, suffered a rupture which led to oil spill. There was on casualty or injury to be. There was no casualty or injury to the crew members. My colleague visited the collision site of 13th January 2017 and inspected the area where the vessels were anchored and gave appropriate directions to the Kamarajar port officers. Kamarajar port deployed oil boom around the vessels to the contents seepage. After examinations, the damaged vessels was towed safely and burst at the Kamarajar port on 30 January 2017. This vessel has already discharged 30,013 tons of POL and the remaining quantity of the expected to the discharge today. This major step has prevent any further possibility of oil spill. A massive cleanup operation was launched in Tiruvallur, Chennai and Kanchipuram districts by the engineering more than 2,000 persons at the various sites including Ernavar, Chennai, fishing harbors, Marina Beach, Besant Nagar, Kotivakam, Pallavakam, Nilankarai, and cleaning and Injambankam Beach. The Coast Guard has been coordinating the cleaning operation joint with the Chennai Port, Kamarajar Port, the state government and its agencies, Indian Oil Corporation, NGOs, cadets trainees for Maritime Education Institute and fishermen's. A team of senior officers from the Ministry of Shipping, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas and DG Shipping were sent for an on the spot inspection of the affected area and to coordinate and review the cleaning operations. They also met the Chief Secretary Government of Tamil Nadu, who has also helped review meeting and is regularly monitoring the remedial measure being taken. The district administration is actively involved in the cleanup operations. The Chennai port and Kamarajar port have set up control rooms. Ernakulam, which had the maximum drift of sludge, booms have been deployed along the shoreline to contain the oil spill. More than 1,000 people were deployed here with portable pollution cleaning equipment for shoreline cleaning. The required logistic and equipment support has been provided by the Chennai and Kamarajar port. Sufficient gumboots, gloves, buckets, mugs, liquid hands wash and drums have been provided to facilitate manual cleaning. In addition, 3 super suckers and submersible pumps have also been deployed to remove the oil spill. Coast Guard has also spread oil spill dispersant for removal of the oil slick. The total quantity of the sludge which has been removed till today is 65 tons. In addition, super suckers have removed 54 tons which contain 70% water. More than 80% of the works has been completed and most of the residual works is expected to be completed within 2 and 3 days. The Indian Oil Corporation has provided special bioremediation materials for the treatments of the collected oil sludge for its safe disposal. The Coast Guard ships and helicopters are carrying out a regular sorties for the continuous monitoring of oil slick. If oil spillage accumulations is spotted anywhere, manpower and material under the overall supervision of the Coast Guards will be deployed. Directorate General of Shipping has instituted an inquiry under the Merchant Shipping Act to ascertain the cause and contributory factors that led to the accident. Government is taking all the measures to manage the situations. My colleague will also be visiting the affected area again to take stock of the situation.
Thank you. Now clarification to be sought by Sri Tiruchi Siva.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman, sir. Sir, this is a very, very serious issue in Chennai. Fishermen are not able to go
No
out.
speech, please. Please, only clarification.
Yes, clarification, sir. Not a speech. Fishermen are not able to go out for shipping. My clarification is very, very specific. This vessel, which has carried 32,813, has now discharged 30,013. So remaining is 2,800. But how much is spilt over, we would like to know, because the earlier first information that was given by the portress was just 1 ton. Later, the Honorable, his colleague, as he has mentioned, he said 20 tons. But now that the sledge that has been removed is 65 tons, and the super suckers have removed 54 tons. And they say it contains 70% of water. But how it is evolved, we do not know. So even when they have agreed that that 65 tons sledge have been removed, I think much more is left there. Very, very rare species have perished or died in this oil spill, sir. And apart from the government's deputation to remove the sledge, the youth who were there on the marina, who were agitating a few days back for Jallikattu, are voluntarily there to help them. They are using only buckets. When technology has improved to that level, now that when foreign countries have gone to much more higher level, we are still depending upon buckets and manual operation. And I think the ministers or the government's intervention and war-footed manner approach to this alone will save the fishermen and the people around the country as well as the species in the sea. So I would like to know, you say that 80% of the work has been done, but it is not so in reality. Still Chennai is very bad and it is started spreading across till Neelangarai. It was near the Kamarajar port, but it has gone up to Neelangarai, up to Mamalapuram. So I think this 80% recovery, I think it's not acceptable. But I would urge the government to act in a much more swift manner to relieve the situation, sir, and kindly give us right statistics. Because people should not be misguided or we should not be misled with some information, 1 ton, 20 tons, and now you agree with 60 tons and 54 tons. So any information that is given by the authorities should be factual, which should not mislead the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sri Ajay Sancheti.
एक एक्सीडेंट हुआ है वहां पर, उस सिलसिले में मैं क्लैरिफिकेशन तो नहीं है, लेकिन भारत सरकार को सिर्फ इस बात के लिए बधाई देना चाहता हूं कि विदाउट एनी कैजुअलिटी इतने बड़े चीज को समय से स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की मदद से उन्होंने उसको काबू करने की कोशिश की, उस पे काम कर रहे हैं. इसलिए मैं भारत सरकार और राज्य सरकार दोनों को बधाई देना चाहता हूं.
Thank you.
Rupture. When vessels carrying such substances which would cause ecological damage I think much care should be taken that whether the vessels are qualified to be to sail on the sea. I think
So it's a suggestion.
Minister will
It's a
take-
suggestion.
सर जो MT BW नेपाल एंड MT डाउन कांचीपुरम दोनों शिप का एक्सीडेंट हुआ। जब एक्सीडेंट होता है और बाद एक्सीडेंट हो गया, एक्सीडेंट होने के बाद तुरंत ही सरकार और वहां के जो लोकल व्यवस्था थी, डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट की सभी टीम वहां पहुंची। वहां पहुंचने के बाद उसको टोइस करने तुरंत ही कर लिया, जैसे कि ज्यादा उसमें से ऑयल बह न जाए। जो भी उसमें से ऑयल बह गया उसके संदर्भ में तुरंत ही कार्यवाही की। तत्काल तौर पर जो ऑयल एंड नेचुरल गैस वाले उसकी टीम, हमारे मिनिस्टर भी वहां जाके आया और वहां जाके सब मॉनिटर किया। मॉनिटर करने के बाद जो टीम काम में लगी हुई थी, जो फिशरमैन जो भी जुड़े उसमें, जिसकी भी आवश्यकता थी, सभी को उसमें काम में लगा दिया। और साहब मुझे ये बात की खुशी है कि 2-3 दिन में ये सारा ऑपरेशन पूरा होने आया है। जो तिरुचि शिवाजी ने कहा कि उसमें जो तेल बह गया है उसमें 65 टन जो है वो तो हो गया, लेकिन 54 टन जो उसको रिमूव किया गया है, थोड़ा सा वाटर भी उसमें होगा और उसके लिए भी सकर्स और सबमर्सिबल पंप्स और भी मशीनरी जिसकी भी आवश्यकता है, ये मशीनरी लगा रहे हैं। अच्छी बात है कि 2-3 दिन में जो वहां से माहिती उपलब्ध हुई है और माननीय सदस्य जी ने कहा है कि शायद उसको और भी गति मिले। आज हमने यहाँ से सरकार से बोला भी है कि वहां मॉनिटरिंग करने के लिए हमारे शिपिंग मिनिस्ट्री के ऑफिसर्स भी वहां उपस्थित है और वहां टाइम टू टाइम मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं। कैजुअलिटी नहीं हुई है और जो ऑयल बह गया उसको भी 2-3 दिन में सेफली रिमूव करके, जो हैजार्डस है उसको रिमूव करके कामराजार पोर्ट में सब कार्यवाही खूब एक्टिवली चल रही है और रिमूवल किया जाएगा।
Thank you. Now special mention Sri Basavraj Patil. Absent. Professor M.B. Rajiv Gowda. वो बाद में देखा जाएगा। Now
बाद में कैसा?
वो बाद में हो जाए, देखा जाएगा।
है सर।
अगर टाइम है तो जरूर मिलेगा। कंटिन्यूएशन है ना, ये बिल कंटिन्यू होगा और अगर आपका पार्टी का टाइम बचे हुए है तो आपको जरूर मिलेगा। The House stands adjourned till 11 a.m. on Monday, the 6th February 2017.